Ever wondered what it's like to live completely away from the hustle and bustle of the world? Some people have taken their desire for solitude to a whole new level. From the Katskhi Pillar, a home perched high on a rock, to the remote Ellidaey Island and the Casa Do Penedo stone house built into giant boulders, these are homes where the outside world feels like a distant memory. And don't forget the Agia Triada monastery, a serene retreat in the skies. These are the homes of people who truly hate the outside world. Katskhi Pillar. Sometimes a little distance from people and the chaos of daily life can do wonders for the soul. One man took that idea to the extreme by living in an old church perched atop a limestone pillar, 130 feet above the ground. This incredible spot, the Katskhi Pillar, is in the village of Katskhi in western Georgia's Imereti region. The structure dates back to the 9th century when it was built by Christian ascetics known as stylites. These monks believed living on high pillars brought them closer to God. The pillar has a church, 3 hermit cells, a wine cellar, a stone crypt, and even a curtain wall. It's only accessible by ladder, making it a perfect retreat for solitude seekers. The site was abandoned in the 15th century during the Ottoman invasion, but rediscovered in 1944 by a Georgian mountaineer. Decades later, in 1993, Maxim Kavtaradze made the pillar his home. After serving time in prison for drug charges, Maxim felt the need to cleanse himself of evil and reconnect with God. He's been living there ever since, dedicating his days to prayer, meditation, and simplicity. A truly extraordinary life far above the hustle and bustle. Before we continue, here is an interesting topic. This image has recently gone viral on the internet. The image showed a house on the top of a rock. Some people claim that this place belongs to a person who hated people and built his home at this place to stay away from people, while others say that this place was once an island that has ended up in its current form due to an earthquake. But what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments. Tristan da Cunha, Tristan, Atlantic Ocean. If you've ever needed a solid excuse to skip a family vacation, try this. Sorry, Mum, I'm stuck on an island with no airport and it's a 7-day boat ride back. Sounds dramatic, but that's life on Tristan da Cunha, a tiny British outpost in the South Atlantic Ocean. This remote island is the definition of off the beaten track. With no airport or deep harbour, the only way in or out is by one of the 9 boats that visit each year. Once you arrive, you're stuck for at least a month, which for some sounds like absolute bliss. Tristan da Cunha is home to about 270 people, all spread out across 38 square miles. The island has a volcano cone, a pub, a small hospital, some roads, and a golf course so run down that chickens have taken over. As far as industry goes, potatoes are the island's main crop. They also export lobsters and crawfish while raising livestock for their own needs. Completely self-sufficient, Tristan da Cunha is perfect for anyone dreaming of a life far from the hustle and bustle. If peace, quiet, and a truly unique address appeal to you, this remote island might just be the ultimate getaway. Ellidaey Island. For years, a picture of a lonely little house sitting on a vast island surrounded by nothing but ocean made its way around the internet. No one knew the story behind it. Some thought it was Bjork's house. Others imagined it belonged to a rich celebrity, or maybe it was a zombie apocalypse hideout. It looked so isolated that it just had to be something mysterious. Right? The island Ellidaey sits off Iceland's southern coast and has been a magnet for rumors. But no, it's not someone's escape from the outside world. Well, sort of. About 300 years ago, 5 families lived there, choosing a quiet life away from the mainland. They survived by raising cattle, fishing, and hunting puffins. It worked out for them until it didn't. After 200 years, people started leaving for better opportunities on the mainland. Eventually, everyone moved away. Before they left, though, they built a lodge. That's the house you see in the pictures. It's still in use today during puffin hunting season, but don't expect luxury. It has no running water or electricity. So no, it's not Bjork's house, and it's not a zombie hideout, just a humble hunting lodge with a fascinating past. Village of Gasadalur. Imagine you're picking a place to live, and these are your two options. Hike over 2,000 feet of rough mountain terrain, followed by a long trek, or climb a cliff straight from a boat. That's what life was like for anyone living in the tiny village of Gasadalur. And yes, you're pronouncing that perfectly. Gasadalur is tucked away in the Faroe Islands, completely cut off from the rest of the world by towering mountains and a massive sea cliff. If you're not big on socializing, this place might feel like heaven. For most of its history, the only way to get there was either to scale stairs carved into the cliffside or take on a grueling mountain hike. Needless to say, this wasn't a place for casual visitors. Life in Casa del Sur stayed quiet and remote for years, with just a handful of hearty locals farming and tending the land. By February 2012, only 18 people still called it home, but things have started to change. A tunnel blasted through the mountains now connects the village to the rest of the Faroe Islands by road. It's not exactly bustling, but with easier access, there's hope that this tiny village might grow a bit and maybe even welcome a few more people who don't mind the quiet life. Hermitage of San Colombano. Eremo di San Colombano. How does the idea of climbing a nearly 400-foot rock face or navigating 102 rock-carved stairs with arms full of groceries sound? If it means living far away from people, it just might be worth the effort. The Hermitage of San Colombano is tucked into a sheer cliff face about 2 miles from Rovereto in northern Italy. Built around the 10th century and inhabited as early as July 1953, this unique structure is sheltered by natural rock roofing, keeping it protected from the elements. Its location makes it tricky to access for both locals and visitors, which only adds to its charm as a secluded getaway. Legend has it that the Hermitage was dedicated to Saint Colombano, who, as a young knight, killed a dragon responsible for the deaths of baptized children in the Lino River below. While the story adds a mythical touch, the Hermitage itself is steeped in history. Today, it's open to the public and serves as the starting point for the treasures of the Trambolano route. Its almost camouflaged position makes it an ideal spot for anyone dreaming of solitude. If you're ready for a break from the world, this hidden gem might just be your perfect escape. Just Room Enough Island, Canada. Have you ever felt like your home is just too crowded? Maybe door-to-door salespeople keep showing up with their latest vacuum cleaners, or your mother-in-law pops in uninvited multiple times a week. It can be overwhelming if you're looking for a place to escape from all that. Just Room Enough Island might be the perfect solution. Located east of Ontario on the St. Lawrence River, this tiny island is so small that it can barely fit anything. Just enough room for a house, a small beach area, and one tree. It's the smallest island of 1,864 islands in the Thousand Islands archipelago, which is shared by New York and Ontario, right on the Canadian-US border. The island is about 3,300 square feet, roughly the size of a tennis court. The Sizeland family bought it in the 1950s as a vacation lodge, and it became a popular tourist spot because of its uniqueness. But if you're hoping to get away from people, its fame might not work in your favor. There are always curious visitors hoping to see this tiny island for themselves. Even though it might not look like much, Just Enough Island is legitimate, meeting all the requirements, like having at least one living tree above water year-round and being more than 1 square foot in size. If you want to escape the crowds, this might just be your perfect getaway. Casa Do Penedo, Stone House Boulder House. Some people spend their holidays in caravans or tents, while others go all out with fancy RVs. And then some see a pile of rocks and think, that would make the perfect home. That's exactly how Casa Do Penedo came to be. Located in the Fife region of northern Portugal, this quirky house was built in 1972 by holidaymakers looking for something a little different. They wanted a getaway that felt unique, so they started building a house that wouldn't look out of place in the Flintstones neighborhood. Nestled in the countryside, Casa do Penedo is made of massive rocks, with a roof, windows, a door, and even a chimney. Step inside and it's as rustic as you'd expect. There's no electricity, and the furniture is all made of logs. The star of the show is a 550-pound eucalyptus wood couch. It's the ultimate spot if you're dreaming of escaping modern life for a while. While it's no longer used as a holiday home, Casa do Penedo is still standing and open for visits. If you're ever exploring northern Portugal, this one-of-a-kind stone house is worth a stop to see how living among the rocks might feel. Agia Triada. If nosy neighbors or door-to-door salespeople drive you up the wall, then Agia Triada might just be your dream home, though convincing someone to let you live there might be tricky. Agia Triada, or the Holy Trinity Monastery, is perched atop a massive rock in Meteora, Greece. It's been an active monastery since 1362 and sits next to St. Stephen's Nunnery. To reach it, you'll need to tackle 140 steep steps carved into the rock, but trust me, the climb is worth it. The views from the top are breathtaking, stretching far across the surrounding landscape. The monastery itself has everything you'd need for a peaceful escape: a chapel, a small church, and stunning artwork dating back to 1682. If that's not enough to win you over, here's a fun fact. Parts of the James Bond movie For Your Eyes Only were filmed here, so not only would you have the ultimate isolated retreat far from prying eyes, but you'd also be living in a place that pops up every time you watch an iconic spy flick. Talk about a home with both serenity and star power. Church of St. John in Ranui, Italy. Imagine waking up every day surrounded by forests, dramatic mountains, and a bright blue sky. Sounds like paradise, right? That's the vibe at the Church of St. John in Ranui, Italy. While you can't live there, you can rent it for a wedding or special event if you're feeling fancy. This charming little church, along with a nearby farm, is the only building for miles. It's perfect if you're not a fan of crowds or interruptions from the outside world. The church itself is picture-perfect with a shingle-pitched roof, a bell tower, and vibrant walls adorned with stunning artwork. One of its most unique features is the marbled wood altar, which includes two fascinating and a little odd paintings of St. John Nepomuk presenting his tongue to Jesus. Strange? Definitely. Memorable? Absolutely. If by some miracle you managed to turn this place into your home, you'd be living in the ultimate peaceful retreat. Farmland surrounds the area, giving you whisper-quiet days with nothing but the sound of nature. It's close enough to life's essentials, yet far enough away that you wouldn't have to worry about nosy neighbors or pesky door-to-door salespeople ever again. Chess Pavilion, Mount Huashan, China. If you're not afraid of heights, exercise, or new experiences, then Mount Huashan in China could be the adventure you're looking for. This mountain stands over 7,000 feet high and is one of the 5 sacred mountains of China. But it's not just about the natural beauty. There are Taoist temples, shrines, tea houses, and pathways carved into the cliffs, all waiting for you as you climb. According to ancient Chinese legend, the main path up Mount Huashan took 3,000 years to build, stretching about 7.5 miles and rising nearly 6,000 feet. But there's more to this mountain than just a challenging climb. There's also the Chess Pavilion, which seems to be out in the middle of nowhere. Perched on a rock face, this pagoda looks impossible to reach. But with a daring descent using metal bars and old footholds, you can make your way down. Once you get there, you can enjoy incredible views and even play a game of chess. Climbing Mount Huashan is definitely not for the faint of heart, but if you're looking for an experience that takes you to the edge, literally and figuratively, and offers a peaceful escape from the world, this could be your perfect adventure. Just don't forget your courage. Until now, we have watched some houses outside the world. Now, we are going to see some unbelievable hidden houses. Lukomir, Bosnia, Herzegovina. If you're feeling overwhelmed by technology and the fast pace of modern life, then Lukomir might just be the perfect escape. Tucked away nearly 5,000 feet above sea level and about 30 miles from Sarajevo, This 300-year-old village feels like stepping back in time. But be warned, don't plan your visit in winter unless you're ready to ski your way in. Lukomir is thought to be the most isolated village in Herzegovina, Bosnia, and it's perfect for anyone who dreams of a quieter, simpler life. Unlike most places that have changed with the times, this village has stayed true to its roots. The stone houses still have cherry wood shingle roofs, and the women wear traditional wool garments just like they did over a century ago. Getting there isn't exactly easy. You'll start on a paved road, which eventually turns into a dirt track. In winter, the snow takes over, and the only way in is on skis. But if you make it, the locals will make you feel right at home. They'll welcome you with homemade Bosnian pie, tea, or coffee, and share stories about their peaceful way of life. So if you're looking for a break from the noise and distractions of the modern world, Lukomir offers a glimpse into a simpler, more grounded existence, and maybe even some delicious pie. Bishop Rock, Isles of Scilly, Great Britain. If you don't mind occasional bad weather and having to bring your groceries in by boat, escaping to the Bishop Rock Lighthouse could be just what you're looking for to get away from the outside world. Located on the Isles of Scilly in Cornwall, this lighthouse has stood since the 19th century. Built to withstand the rough seas that batter it daily, the builders learned the hard way when their first attempt was swept away before they could install the lantern. The lighthouse is made to last with a solid drum base of granite blocks, iron tie bars, and a sturdy granite encasement. It stands over 140 feet above high tide, so you'll be safe from rising waters. If you love great views, the Bishop Rock Lighthouse delivers in spades. Not only will you have a stunning view of the surrounding sea, but the Isles of Scilly, made up of over 50 small islands, offer a peaceful, isolated escape nearly 40 miles from the land's end. For anyone wanting to step away from modern life and enjoy peace in a place with breathtaking views, this lighthouse on the remote Isles of Scilly is the ultimate hideaway. Just be ready to embrace a bit of adventure with those boat trips. Adreri Amelal Siwa Oasis, Egypt. Time seems to slow down and you can enjoy life at your own pace without worrying about anything. If you're dreaming of living like that all the time, away from the stress of the outside world, then pack your bags and head to Siwa Oasis in Egypt. They weren't kidding when they named it an oasis. This place has everything you could need to unwind, with over 300 freshwater streams and springs, thousands of olive trees and date palms, and a huge saltwater lake. Siwa is a tropical paradise in the desert. Plus, it's easy to reach thanks to roads that link it to the Mediterranean coast. If you love to relax, you can spend your days lounging in this peaceful spot. But if you're looking for some adventure, there's plenty to do. You can visit the ancient mud brick town above Siwa's main square, explore the Siwa Museum with relics from the past, or take a short trip to see the limestone mountain of the dead and the temple of the oracle. So if you're tired of traffic jams and crowds, Siwa Oasis might just be the perfect place to escape. Start planning your trip to Egypt, and you could soon be enjoying a slower, more relaxed pace of life in this beautiful, quiet paradise. Paro Tuktsong, Paro Valley, Bhutan. If you struggle to hit your 10,000 steps a day, living in the Paro Valley in Bhutan could make that a thing of the past. High in the mountains, you'll find a temple with 13 monasteries called Tiger's Nest, a place long used by Buddhists for meditation since the 8th century. Tiger Nest, a beautiful monastery in Bhutan. Legend has it that Buddha Padmasambhava arrived at the cave on the back of a flying tiger. The temples are around 10,000 feet above sea level, so it's safe to say the Buddha had it easy. Anyone else, though, has to put in some serious effort to get there. From the valley floor, which is already 7,000 feet above sea level, you'll need to climb for about 2 hours to reach the Tiger's Nest, which sits 3,000 feet higher. That means you'll be about 10,000 feet above sea level by the time you reach the temple. The steep climb is tough, but the altitude and mist add extra challenges. And let's not forget the heart-stopping views down to the valley below that might make your stomach drop. But if you're looking for a place to escape the crowds and avoid unexpected visitors, living here would keep things peaceful and quiet. Plus, you'd get a daily workout just by walking around. If you enjoyed these amazing retreats, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories from around the globe. See you next time.